students, welcome to Sunil's tutorial. I'm Sunil Mirwani and today we'll be doing this chapter called as network analysis. Let's see a sum, guys. I'll write the sum down. We're doing question number 2, page 335. I'm writing the question down, activity. C, D, E, F, G. Predecessor is A, C, A, D, E and D. Time. Normal rash. Normal time is 462 5274. Rash time is 341 3252. Cost, direct cost. Normal rash 60 150 38 150 100 115 100 90 250 60 250 100 175 240. Right? Next, indirect cost. Indirect cost is given to you in terms of days cost. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. 600, 500, 400, 250, 175, 100, 75, 50, 35, 25. Right? Now, this is the sum given to you. So the first thing that you need to do, is make a network diagram for this. Let's start with the network diagram. You have event 1 that will give activity. There's nothing predecessor to A, B and C. So from event 1 you will have activity A which is of 4 days. You have to consider the normal time. Activity B which is of 6 days and activity C which is of 2 days. Right? This is going to give you 2, 3 and 4. Right? Now from A you go to D. Right? A gives you D. A also gives you F. So from A you will have D. Activity D which is of 5 days. Right? From C you go to E. From C you go to E. So in that case this should come here. From C you go to E which is of 2 days. Right? Now how did I know that this has to come here? Because look at the last line. D, E and D combine together to give you G. D, E and D combine together to give you G. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. G is of 4 days. And from A you also have F. From A you also have F which is of 7 days. So that will be my network diagram. So from A I have, from event 1 I have A, B, C 3 activities. From A I have D and F. From C I have E and D, B and E combine to give you G. Fine. Now let's see what are the various paths I have. The various paths you have is AF, then you have ADG, then you have BG, then you have CE. So these are your various paths that you have. Time or duration, right? If I consider path AF, AF is 4 plus 7, that is 11 days. ADG is 4 plus 5 plus 4, that is going to be 13 days. BG is 6 plus 4, that is 10 days. CEG is going to be nothing but 2 plus 2 plus 4, that is going to be 8 days, right? Once you have this, now in that case, now my maximum time is 13 days, therefore my project completion time is going to be 13 days. The path that gives me the project completion time is going to be my critical path. So A, you draw network diagram. B, you calculate the path. C, now critical path is going to be nothing but ADG. Why ADG? Because that takes maximum time, and my normal project completion time is 13 days. Fine, do we get this in here? Now, my normal cost is made up of direct cost. How do I get direct cost? Direct cost is nothing but sum of all the normal cost. What is direct cost? Direct cost is the sum of all the normal cost. So 60 plus 150 plus 38 plus 150 plus 100 plus 115 plus 100, right? When you add all of this, you will get 713 indirect cost. Your normal project completion time is 13 days. They've given you that for 13 days, the indirect cost is going to be 400 rupees. You have an indirect cost table given, which says that for 13 days, indirect cost is going to be 400 rupees. Therefore, your total cost is nothing but your direct cost plus your indirect cost, which is 713 plus 400, which is going to be 1113. So now I have my total cost. So this is the third thing that you have to do, right? Once you have done this, the next thing that you have to do is you've got to make the cost slope, right? Let's see this. You make the cost slope here. Activity. Let's make it here. Activity. This is the D part I'm doing. Is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. G. It's up till G. Right? Now, maximum crashable limit. How do I get my maximum crashable limit? Normal time minus crash time will give you maximum crashable limit. They've given you normal time, they've given you crash time. Subtract the two, that will give you your normal crashable or maximum crashable limit. So for activity A, it will be 4 minus 3, that is 1. 6 minus 4, 2. 2 minus 1, 1. 5 minus 3, 2. 2 minus 2, 0. 7 minus 5, 2. 4 minus 2, 2. Everyone's understood how I got my maximum crashable limit? My maximum crashable limit is normal time minus crash time. Fine, do we get this thing clear? Then I have to find out cost slope. What is cost slope? Cost slope is given by the formula crash cost minus normal cost divided by normal time upon crash time. See, I'll write this formula down here. Cost slope is given by the formula crash cost minus normal cost upon normal time minus crash time. So, cost slope for activity A will be 90 minus 60, 30, 30 divided by 1. So, 30 rupees per day. For activity 2, it will be 250 minus 150. that is 100 divided by 2, that is 50. For activity C, it is going to be 60 minus 38, 22 divided by 1, that's 22. For activity D, it is 250 minus 150, 100 divided by 2, that's going to be 50. Then here, this is 0, so obviously you cannot crash this. 100 minus 100 is 0. Then 175, 115, so 60 divided by 2, that is 30. And finally, you have 240 minus 100, 140 divided by 2, 70. Right? So you have to write your activity maximum crashable limit, cost slope, and then you have to rank these activities. You rank them in the ascending order. Now see, first of all, when there's 0, you cannot have a rank for it because you cannot crash that particular activity. Now let's see, how do I rank them? The smallest number would get first rank. So the smallest number is 22. The number closest to that is 30. So both the 30s will get second rank. Right? After that you have 50. Both the 50s would get third rank. And then 70 will get the fourth rank. Right? So this is going to be my cost slope table. Once you have your cost slope table, then you can start with crashing. Let's make the crashing table. Crashing before crashing. Now all your activities. Your activities are your paths are AF, ADG, BG and CEG. These are your 4 paths. The time for them is 11, 13, 10 and 8 days. 11, 13, 10 and 8 days. Right? Next, then you write your direct cost, indirect cost. These were your paths. Direct cost, indirect cost and total cost. We found out that the direct cost was 713 rupees, indirect cost was 400 rupees and total cost was 1113 rupees. Right? So that's your preliminary data before you start crashing. Okay. You always start crashing with the critical path. Now my critical path is A, D and G. Now between A, D and G, which has the least rank? The least rank, see, when we talk about, can you just look at this? I'll just mark this. Now, between A has got second rank, D has got third rank, G has got fourth rank. Now, out of the 3 ranks, the smallest rank is A. So, A is going to be the first activity that is going to be crashed. So, first crashing A by 1 day. Right? I'm going to be crashing A by 1 day. So, wherever you have activity A, you're going to crash that by 1 day. I have activity A here. So if I crash this by 1 day, I'll have to reduce 1 from here. I have activity A here. So this will become 12. I have activity A, no. So this will remain as it is. This will remain as it is. Right? Now if I crash A by 1 day, my cost slope is 30 rupees. So that means this will become 713 plus 30 rupees. So in that case, this is going to become 743 rupees. Now, my project completion time from 13 days has been reduced to 12 days. My indirect cost table tells me that for 12 days, the indirect cost is going to be 250. Right? So when I add this, this comes to 993. My total cost becomes 993. Fine, do we get this thing clear? Now, the maximum time for which you could crash A is 1 day. You finish crashing of A. My critical path is A, D and G. A has rank 2, D has rank 3. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to crash D. So second crashing is D by 1 day. Right? If I crash D by 1 day, wherever I have D, I'll have to reduce 1 day. There's a D here, so this becomes 11, no D. This remains as it is, this remains as it is. So I have crashed D by 1 day. That means I have reduced that path which has D by 1 day. Okay? Now, the cost slope of D, guys, can you see this? The cost slope of D is 50 rupees. That means my direct cost will go up by 50 rupees, right? So this will be 743 plus 50 rupees, that is 793 rupees, right? Now if I crash D by 1 day, the indirect cost, now my project completion time becomes 11 days. For 11 days, my indirect cost is 175 rupees. So if I add direct and indirect cost, my total cost becomes 968 rupees. Right? Let's look at our cost slope again. D can be crashed by 2 days. I have only crashed it by 1 day so far. So I can crash it by 1 more day. So let's crash. This is my third crashing of D by 1 day. So this will become 10. This I'm crashing D by 1 day, so this will become 10. There's no D here. This will become 10. This will become 8. Okay. Now I already told you that the crashing cost of D is 50 rupees. 793 plus 50 is going to be 843. My project completion time becomes 10 days. The indirect cost table tells me that for 10 days my indirect cost is going to be 100 rupees. So this is going to be 943 rupees. Fine, do we get this thing clear? Now things become interesting. The next thing that I need to crash is G, right? Now, the fourth crashing is going to be G by 1 day. Right? Now let's see this. If I crash G by 1 day, this will become 9, this will become 9, this will become 7, but this will remain 10. The first path AF will remain 10. Now the rule says that my critical path should be the path which is of maximum duration. Here my critical path is not of maximum duration. To keep the critical path of maximum duration, I'll have to crash here also. The activities I could crash here is either A or F, right? I could crash either A or F. A crashing is already done. We have already finished crashing of A. So I'll have to also crash F by 1 day. Right? So if I crash F by 1 day, this will also become 9. Why did I do that? So that my critical path is the path of maximum duration. Right? Now let's see this. My cost was 843. To crash G, the crashing cost of G was 70 rupees. Plus I had to crash F also. The crashing cost of F was 30 rupees. So this becomes 943 rupees. Right? The indirect cost for 9 days is 75 rupees. right? So 943 plus 75 is 1018. Right, do we get this thing clear? So after fourth crashing, my total cost becomes 1018. Now, I have to crash G. The maximum time for which I can crash G is 2 days. So I'll crash it by one more day. Fifth crashing. G by 1 day. Because G is a part of my critical path, I have to ensure that I do maximum crashing of this. Now if I crash G by 1 day, then this will become 8 days. This will become 8 days. This will become 6 days. But my path AF will still remain 9 days. So in that case, my critical path will not be the path of maximum duration. In order to make sure that my critical path is the path of maximum duration, I will have to crash here also. I have already finished crashing A, so the only other thing I can crash now is F. I'll have to crash F by one more day. F by 1 day. So that means this will become 8 days. Right? Do we get this thing clear? Now, my cost was 943. The crashing cost of G is 70 rupees. The crashing cost of F is 30 rupees. So this is 1043 rupees. For 8 days, my indirect cost is 50 rupees. So this is going to be 1093 rupees. So all the activities of critical path have been crashed. A has been crashed by 1 day. D has been crashed by 2 days. And G has been crashed by 1 day. So all my crashing is done. Now let's try to get our answers. So that's how I'm going to do my crashing. Now let's get all the answers. My optimum project cost. Now if you see, this was A, B, C, D, E. You make your crashing table. F. Now let's write the answers. Optimum project cost. What do you mean by optimum project cost? The minimum project cost. The minimum project cost from the crashing table we know is 943 rupees. Fine, do we get this thing clear? Now, the optimum project completion time. Project completion time. For 943 rupees, the optimum project completion time is 10 days. Right? Now, the minimum project completion time. Project completion time. The minimum project completion time when all the crashing has been done is 8 days. Right? Do we get this thing clear? And I could also have the minimum project completion cost. I don't think they have asked you the minimum project completion cost. So these are the final 3 things that they've asked you. So my optimum project completion cost is 943 days. Optimum project completion time is 10 days. Minimum project completion time is 8 days. Right? Okay, this finishes the sum. We'll stop this here for the day. Thank you very much.